Hey everyone, it's Typed, and I am mostly not sick. I think I'm not sick, which is good. But my voice may be a little funny today, so hopefully it's all good. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. What matters is what we're talking about. And we are taking a look at PokemonCard.io, which is a website that reports on Japanese tournament results in English, which is nice. There are unsurprisingly a lot of Japanese websites that report on Japanese results, but unsurprisingly for me, as someone who is not bilingual. I can't speak Japanese, and so Pokemon Card Dial is a pretty good website, except I'm in dark mode, which I always use, and it doesn't change the color of the text, so I can't really like read what they're saying. But that's fine. And so we're going to be taking a look at, there are two parts in today's video. We're going to be taking a look at part one, which I think tends more towards older decks, like decks that we currently have. This is post-rotation though, so this will be post-rotation more or less temporal forces. As I said, this is the Japanese format, which is slightly different than what our post-rotation format will be. Um, I don't actually know how it will be different. We don't really know that, and that's a pretty big issue, or I mean, not necessarily like an issue, but something we need to keep in mind. Also, I will be pulling up the cards sometimes, although not too often. I have talked about these cards a lot, and I'll mention kind of what they do broadly. For example, this list, I actually glanced at the first list, and we have a bunch of Charizard lists. I don't know how many I'll be going through, and I went through them, I think, last week. But we have Charizard EX with Pidgeot EX. I didn't even know what Pidgeotto this is. Um, Usually you don't see that. Apparently it's this one. Oh, just free retreat. That's good. It's not that good. Anyway, so they have that, but they have Gouging Fire EX. Gouging Fire EX is really interesting here with its attack. Well, it's not really interesting. I think it's fine. I think some people think it's really good, and I think it's pretty mediocre. But it does do 260 for 3, which is quite powerful. And then you do have the tool here, something belt. What is it? I've forgotten the name of it again. Maximum belt. There we go. It's an ace spec. You do 50 more to your opponent's active EX, which can be really powerful, helping push through certain breakpoints in Charizard. We also see, or what is this tool? I don't know. Um, we have some other tool. I really should learn the tools better, or like the cards better. Is that Vitality Band? That looks kind of like Vitality Band. I don't think it's Vitality Band. I don't know. Someone tell me in the comments. It doesn't really matter that much, I don't think, but they're playing it. They're running Buddy Poffin, which is like Nest Ball for two Pokemon with 70 HP or less. Well, that's decent. It gets your Charmanders and your Pidgeys, which is good. We see Radiant Charizard as well. Actually, very similar to Gouging Fire. I feel like you don't need both, but I mean, they're not. Neither one's like bad either. I'm still like, what is that card? Is that Vengeful Punch? That could be Vengeful Punch. Yeah, looks like I think it. Maybe not. I can't really tell. Maybe we'll see in some other list. Um, Maybe not. Anyway, so and then they run Mist Energy. Mist Energy is a really interesting card for any effects of attacks into the Pokemon that card's attached to. It's a special energy, provides one colorless, which means it's kind of useless on it's useless on Charizard EX in essentially all scenarios, but it is useful against a deck like Giratina V-Star, possibly Sableye, but it stops Giratina V-Star from one-shotting you. I feel like, I don't know if I'd say it's too specific, but it seems like they can get around it. There is no way to really remove special energy on an item. There's no crush, there is Crushing Hammer, but there's no Fan Waves that's rotating or similar cards like Enhanced Hammer or Lost Remover. It might be the card. I don't know. That card rotated a long time ago. Next list looks pretty similar. We see Radiant Charizard. We don't see the Gouging Fire. Oh, and then is that, what is that? Um, oh, that's, it's the big Sack boy. The penguin guy. I don't remember. It's the future. Iron Bundle. There we go. So yeah, that card, it like forces them to the bench. It's like a pseudo gust. We see Maximum Belt, Force Seal Stone, Team Devolution. I'm pretty sure that's not one of the teams as well, but it could be Team Evolution. That could make sense. And then yeah, and then we see Mist Energy as well. This next list, no Mist Energy. We do see Jirachi. Jirachi and Mist Energy are, I don't know if they're necessarily replacements for one another. They're kind of different, but keep in mind that they are also somewhat similar in stopping like Sableye. Mist Energy can stop Sableye, but again, it is your manual attachment for the turn. There is no path though, so you can always use Charizard EX's ability, I believe. There are, I think there's a new Flutter Mane which can stop it. technically, but it's pretty underwhelming at stopping you. So yeah. Um, Next up, pretty similar stuff. Defiance, Band, Belt, Band, I think. They keep mixing and matching between Belt and Band. So, and then we see, I don't know, pretty normal stuff here. Pretty similar stuff. We do see the Gouging Fire again, though. Sometimes being played looks like it's like 50-50, and I think that's fine. Then you have like Choice Belt, and then like Defiance, was it Defiance Belt? No, Maximum Belt. Yeah, there we go. And then Defiance Band. Like you can play those. You can play Vitality Band. There are a lot of different options. You can kind of choose whichever one you want. Looks like a lot of lists are running like two of those. I'm not a big Charizard player, but I know that obviously they can be good. Um, and we see less stadiums as well, because I mean you just don't need them as actively. You can kind of just chuck in whatever stadium you want. Here we see an Arceus line. Okay, that's interesting. How are these lists labeled? These are all Pidgeot lists. Okay, but this one does run Arceus. I think that's a 2-1 maybe. No, that's a 2-2. And then we see Pidgeot, we see Charizard, we see Entei V coming in. That's not rotating. Some people think it is. It's not. Yeah. And then next up we see here Barrel. Um, I don't think the lists are classified right, but that's fine. Oh wait, no, it does play a 1-1 Pidgeot. Okay. I feel like Pidgeot and Barrel isn't like the best thing. I mean, it's not awful, but it's kind of weird. Um, because you can only use one Pidgeot a turn. Is this the same list? This is like I could have sworn we've seen this list already. That's fine. We got Charizard doing Charizard things. Squawkabilly. This is like a we see Delphox V, I think that's Mew EX as well. So like a turbo build with no engine. That seems bold. See Faranos 2 research and an Arven. I feel like you're gonna there isn't path, but like you don't have a draw engine, so you get like Ionode or like Judged. And then you got like some form of disruption, and then you're kind of in an awkward spot. You have 4 Ultra Balls, 3 Charizard EX. Oh, we see 3 cops at NTV though, so it's very NTV focused with Magma Basin and Jet Energy, so that's kind of interesting. I personally wouldn't play it like this. So I think Charizard's almost always better than Entei. It's almost always hitting more damage. Um, of course, you don't have the like donk potential, but NTV's not amazing at donks. It's kind of bad. Or even the turn when KOs, it's okay, but not that amazing. You don't get as much value out of Buddy Poffin. Um, so without Battle VIP Pass, which is rotating, I don't love this build as much. Usually the Flutter Man I talked about, which turns off your opponent's active Pokemon's abilities, potentially useful. Good against Lost Zone, right? And we don't see Mist Energy or Jirachi making their way into this list. We do still see Manaphy, though. The Lost Zone lists are now playing less Radiant Greninja to attack with. Still playing it some, though. Oh, maybe that card that I was looking at earlier was TM Evolution. That probably makes sense. Yeah, I think we enough Charizard, though. We see Klefki. It's just kind of like Fluttermane, but a little different. Um, Yeah, Charizard. Charizard's a very good deck. I don't think it's the best, but I think it's pretty good. Uh, I think it's will be probably top 5 post rotation. I think there are some people that think it's going to be the best. Oh, okay. Here we see the Dunsparce. The Dunsparce has this ability. Um, I don't know. It's probably going to be translated different, but you draw 3 and then like shuffle it into your deck. I don't remember the order. But it's kind of goofy. Yeah, you draw 3, then shuffle this Pokemon all cards attached into your deck. Um, we are losing the Dunsparce, which gives you weakness immunity on your colorless Pokemon, but that's not really a huge deal. But that's a thing. I don't know. I don't think this card's that good, but I don't think it's that bad. I mean, you can play it if you want. I think we've seen these lists before, presumably. We see Squova and Herbarrel lists. I didn't say that before. That's pretty common, though. Um, and some like Lumineon. You're looking for Sealstone Pokemon targets because you're playing Arven. We see Prime Catcher. I guess a lot of lists are running Prime Catcher. Some are running the Maximum Belt as well. I don't know what the split is, but I think they're both pretty good in the list. I think Charizard's a deck that like kind of likes Maximum Belt, but I think Prime Catcher is better in general. And when you play high counts with Arven, they're both good because they're both searchable off of Arven. Um, what's the Sandshrew? Is that the anti-mill card? Or is that not the anti-mill card? Oh, that's the anti-recovery card. So trains in your opponent's discard pile can't be put back into their deck by an effective opponent's item or supporter card. That's an interesting inclusion. I don't know what it's there for though. Oh, I might know. It could be used like as you can recover ace specs, but I don't know. OCS, no, whatever this board card is, emergency board, I think it's a reduce your 2 cost by 1. It can be useful on certain Pokemon, although I don't know if I really love it. In fact, I probably don't. It is searchable off Arvin, so it's fine and kind of replacement for a Switch though. Although it's not actually a replacement for a Switch because a lot of your Pokemon have 2 or 3 retreat. Um, Anyway, next up we have Iron Hands Champao. Doing pretty normal stuff here. Keep in mind it's a little more awkward to search out your Champaos without Battle VIP Pass, I guess, but it's fine. We do see Cryptomaniacs deciphering or something. I really don't like these cards have been translated so many different ways. But that card, it's a feature card. It just doesn't really matter. But search your deck for 2 cards and put them on top of your deck. You shuffle your deck, but you don't shuffle those 2 cards. Um, that allows you to like start training 2 cards and raiding Greninja into it, or Barrel into it, or Pokestop into it, but probably not Pokestop, because I guess you could. That's not like an absurd thing, because you can Pokestop for Prime Catcher, or you can Cryptomaniacs Deciphering for Prime Catcher for then Pokestop it and get it. But anyway, I think this is fine. I don't know what I think about that card in a deck like Chimpao, although I don't hate it. It's like decent looting Greninja Barrel. Um, as a one of, it feels kind of random. There's no Lumineon. I'd probably play with Lumineon. I feel like as a one of, it's kind of throwaway. But of course, your other supporters, you have Iridon, which is a very search-based supporter. So Cryptomaniacs Deciphering is also a search-based supporter, kind of acting as like a fifth Iridon, I guess. And then Iono, which is like disruption. I don't know. I don't like the one of Iono and Pokestop decks, but we really see 2 Pokestop because again, no path. We see one boss, one Prime Catcher. Prime Catcher is very good in this deck, obviously, as it is Gust. It is gettable off of Iridon, Pokestop. Um, yeah, it's a good card. Um, Next up in this, oh, and we did see Canceling Clone. Um, because you can't play cross switch, right? It's rotating, so we do see Canceling Clone. With Prime Catcher. Prime Catcher is better than cross switch, right? You're probably if you play 4 cross switcher, you're probably cross switching once in the game versus 1 Prime Catcher. You're Prime catching once every game. Possibly slightly less like exact at the time which you want to use it, right? You can't ever discard it. Obviously, if you discard it, you can't use it versus cross switches. I don't know, but Prime Catcher is better than cross switcher. That's what I'm saying. Obviously, I mean it's 1 card as opposed to 2. Maybe see Luminiana, and I do like that. The Cryptomaniacs deciphering. I would do see 2 cups of research. I don't know how I feel about that. But these exact counts are whatever. Um, Here we see what is this Pokemon? I don't recognize it immediately. 3 colorless. Is that Mismagius? Or no, Fluttermane? I don't know. It doesn't immediately look like Fluttermane, but it could be. I'm not really sure if anyone knows what this Pokemon is right here. Anyways, next up we have another pretty normal list. Actually, I don't know. This list runs the Dunsparce is kind of goofy. I don't know. I think that's fine, but I think it actually isn't great. Then it can kind of suffer due to like late game disruption. Again, no path though. The Dunsparce you can also kind of sit on, but I feel like you probably want like more bench space and more deck space. And Chihuahua doesn't really have a ton of that because it's a stage 2 base deck. Um, what is this picture? Why do they? Why? Okay. Anyway, so that's fine. Pretty normal list. Not normal pictures, but normal list. Um, yeah, we see pretty normal stuff. I think a lot of people are running Toaster Barrel. This one is kind of wacky. Wait, is this kind of yes? Well, it runs a 1/1 Glaceon V-Star, which it has some like benefits. It's like immune sometimes, and I don't remember what it does. You can look it up, but I kind of forget. And I remember it's not that good, which is fine. I feel like Palkia would be better, but you can like run it. I feel like there are better. I'd put Arceus over it or Palkia over it, but I don't know. I'm nervous about the deck's consistency as well, in case you can't tell. Now, okay, yeah, here we do see this with Palkia. Um, let's see, are these 1/1 Palkia? This is a oh, it's interesting. So they are running a a 1/2 Palkia, so 2 V-Stars, 1 V. This is a thing better against Prizing with his Heavy Ball and Nest Ball. I'm assuming that's assuming Heavy Ball. It's fine. I actually don't think it's particularly great in a Pokestop based deck. But it's fine. It's something some people do and can have some value. Um, This list again pretty normal with like Palkia, like a 1/1, which is fine. I think that's pretty easy to check in. Here we see, I don't know if this is the first, no, it's not. We see Ditto. So Ditto is really interesting. Its ability, first of all, it's 60 HP. So it is searchable off of Buddy Poffin, which I said is Battle VIP pass for two Pokemon any turn in the game, but they have to have 70 HP or less. So you can get Ditto, which if it's in the active, it switches with any Pokemon in your deck. Well, it doesn't switch; it gets that Pokemon, and then you discard Ditto. You do discard attached cards, which is potentially annoying for situations such as Jet Energy onto Comfy, so you can't really retreat out. But for the most part, it's not a huge deal. Because it's turn one and you're not doing too much turn one anyways, or if you are, you can just do it after. But anyway, so you have Ditto here, which is really great off Buddy Poffin. Um, Next up, we see more of the same. Also, they are like all running one Iron Hands. I don't know if you necessarily need that. If you are going for the canceling clone type thing, and we do even see a Luminous Energy here. I don't know why we see a Luminous Energy here. I suppose just another Lightning. I mean, I guess it could allow you to like use the water stuff easier. But Chien-Pao, I think, is all basics. It doesn't really matter though. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of weird. We got some weird stuff going on here anyway. We got Capturing Aroma. Um, I can't really. Yeah, I don't know. Again, Ditto. I like Ditto with some type of engine with like the barrel. I mean, most of us do run the barrel or Pidgeot, but I feel like Buddy Poffin is something you kind of need to lean into. Uh, I'm gonna use Kyogre. I saw that earlier. Kyogre is a snipe-based Pokemon. It's just fine. See, Iron Bundle, you can attack with that. You can force a point to the bench. Kind of interesting there. Next up, we get Gardevoir. Gardevoir is a deck we really need to talk about as well. Obviously, Gardevoir, Gardevoir EX is not rotating, but the single price Gardevoir is. Curlier is not rotating. Screamtail is not rotating. Zacian V is rotating. So you got a lot of things to look at here. We do see Giant Cape, Heroes Cape. I think it's Heroes Cape. Giant Cape's a card, which is I think plus 20, right? Giant Cape was like pretty terrible. I don't know if it's pretty terrible. It's pretty old. Anyway, so Hero's Cape gives you 100 more HP as an ace spec, which is a bunch. We even see Damage Mover, kind of interesting. I'm not 100% sure what that's used for. Oh, we do see Drifloon though. No, Drifloon, which does I think 70, no, sorry, 30 for each energy attached to it, has 70 HP. Drifloon, is this the right Drifloon? Yeah, so 70, oh, 30 for each damage counter on it. Whoops. That is different. So I guess I was thinking of Mawile. Um, that means if you have obviously 60 on, you're hitting 180. If you have 160 on, you're hitting a lot. Um, so that's enough. I don't know how much do you need to hit like 3 on. So if you have like 10 on or like 12 on, then you're like one-shotting everything. And there are ways that you won't be doing that, but that you won't be one-shotting everything. But anyway, Heroescape's kind of specific as well. We see 4 Arven, we see Buddy Poffin coming in really powerfully here. Overall, I think this is gonna be. I think Gardevoir is gonna be fine. Now, how do they manage to get glare on the whole image? Like, no, they only got glare on the cards. The playmat doesn't have glare. Anyway, yeah, this is pretty much. Wait, is this the same list? It looks very similar. I know we see Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. Anyway, in the next list, we see more of the same. We see the Fluttermane to Disrupt as well. Fluttermane is an interesting card. We see Mimikyu. We see a Refinement Gardevoir. I think this card's pretty terrible. I think most people do. I would not play this, but you could. Was this one of these lists? It might have been. Wait, why is this list running Comfy? I guess they're running Comfy because Celebration's Mew is rotating. I would not do that. I mean, I kind of get why you're doing it, but I wouldn't. Um, Anyways, then I think Gardevoir definitely has potential though. There's a Mawile, which is decent. It's not amazing, but that's not the Mawile. I think it's this Mawile. Yeah, it does 30 for each energy, psychic energy attached to it. Um, which is decent. It's not necessarily as good as Drifloon, but it's decent. Next up, we have Wugtrio EX. Apparently, why do we have Wugtrio EX? Wugtrio EX is something. So let's pull that up. Oh, there we go. I think it's like Snipe. Oh yeah. So discard the 3 energy from your hand. Does 60 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each card you discard in this way. I believe it has to be the same Pokemon. Um, I don't know. It's kind of weird the way it's phrased. Um, yeah, I think it has to be the same. So it can do up to 180 snipe, which is pretty decent. It's not like insanely good though. And then you can do 120 and they can't retreat for two, which isn't great. It is lightning, which is something. This list runs it with Goldengo and Scizor. I think there's a lot going on here. Goldengo's not like super inconsistent, but it's not the most consistent deck either. We see Morty's Conviction or something, which is a generic draw supporter, which I think is fine. We see another list with Wugtrio, Palkia V-Star, Goldengo, and Scizor. I would not run all of that. That seems inconsistent to me. You obviously can attack with Great Ninja. Um, there are options. I don't know. It's kind of fun. I don't know how I feel about this deck. I think Wugtrio EX is okay. I don't think it's amazing. Um, I like the concept's funny. I don't think Goldengo's super good. I think it is good. I'm not sure. I'm not a big fan of Palkia Goldengo, so I'll say. And here we just got a straight Palkia Goldengo. As I said, not a big fan. No, it's not a bad deck, but gains a lot from Cryptic Reacts Deciphering as well, which is not just search for any two cards, but search for any two cards, plus you have to use your Goldengo ability in the active, or two on the bench, but that's still very good. Um, so yeah, I'm definitely thinking that's going to be a great addition to this deck. I do think Scizor is better. Okay, I like this player. Anyway, I think I like Scizor more than Palkia and Goldengo. Um, this list again, Palkia, Patrol Cap. Patrol Cap stops Mill. It's a tool that stops Mill. I talked about Mill last week. I'll be talking about it again this week, today or tomorrow. What is that? Is that Palpad? I think that's Palpad. Anyway, yeah, pretty straightforward stuff though. I mean, it's like Palkia Goldengo, which is kind of a goofy deck, but you play your supporter, whatever support you have, and you just do lots of damage. Um, what is that? Okay, oh, that's Goldengo. Okay. Is that a new art for Goldengo? It might be. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just like seeing things. And Prime Catch obviously is like good in the deck. There's not really another card that you'd run, another ace spec. This list is running the Amoonguss. This Amoonguss is really interesting. It's actually not that interesting. It's a counter to a control card. I wouldn't run this. I don't know. I imagine this was probably in some small tournament or small event in which they knew their opponent was running control. I mean, we see like Faulkner too. I think Faulkner is an underrated supporter. It's like draw four if you have a stadium in play, but still. Assist with Hisuian Basculegion to recover. I actually think Hisuian Basculegion is decent in Golden Age. I've seen it. I don't think it's like amazing, but I think it's pretty decent. This list is Gallade, Kirlia, Goldengo. Again, it's fine. Potentially making very good use of Cryptic X deciphering as well. Again, this is just Scizor. Goldengo. I think this deck's a very solid deck. I think it is the best way to play Goldengo. I'm not sure. I'm not a big fan of the Palkia build. We see Basculegion, and then we just see a bunch of Basculegion with Palkia. Whoa, that's doing some stuff. Next up, we got Iron Valiant Gouging Fire. This is like Iron Valiant Entei. Um, Wait, does it run Entei? I feel like it would. Is that Entei? I think it runs Entei still. I think it's Iron Valiant Entei, but you have like a bigger Entei. And then we see Professor Sun's Vitality. I think this is fine. This is an interesting combo, right? It's obviously very similar to the Iron Valiant Entei-based stack, um, except you hit more, but then you need to push more resources. So it's kind of like Roaring Moon now, but it's not as like all in as Roaring Moon. You can miss by a little and still get some value, as you do have a second attack that I think is 60 for two, which is bad, but like there are times when it'll get the KO in 60s more than nothing. Um, yeah, so that's kind of interesting. We see Maximum Belt as well, because there isn't really a great consistency card a spec in the game right now. Um, let's see. Then there's also what are we looking at? This is Miraidon. So okay, so in terms of energy acceleration, we see uh, Electric Thunder, and that's it, because there's no flat fee. And then we see, wait, what Miraidon is this? I don't know. There's also Miraidon that I think accelerates energy. Miraidon EX. which is this one. Yeah, but it's for 3 energy, and it's not a ton of energy, so it's not that great. We see pretty straightforward stuff, to be honest, except for the well, okay, I don't know why they're running um this guy, the Magnezone V. It's like snipe. Yeah, I guess it's fine, but I don't know. And then we see Luxray V for disruption, which is really interesting. So we see early game disruption kind of being leaned into, but obviously there is no path. There is Judge and Iono. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan. Um, Next up, similar list. I think I don't know. I think this is more like generic. I don't think they play this Palma. Yeah, that's like a V star. Anyway, so this list again, we see like Raikou V, Iron Hands EX, Mariah EX, and then Regieleki, because no Flaffy, so why not play Regieleki? This list runs Mimikyu. That's interesting. The hide behind, and I actually kind of like that addition because you'll be doing a lot of hiding with this deck when you don't have the Flaffy, which is an amazing late or early game, but late game it kind of kept you. And we even see Master Ball, which is the most turbo ace back. So I kind of get that. Oh, is he not turbo patch? Um, energy sticker? Yeah, energy sticker, which is like turbo patch. On a coin flip, you accelerate energy, which is interesting, very turbo-y. Not necessarily the best. Again, we see Iron Bundle, but pretty similar stuff here. I was like, wait, they don't play any lightning energy in the Miraidon deck? That's crazy, but no, it's off the screen. Um, an energy sticker, and we see okay, we haven't seen the new Baton card, but we do see EXP share, which is a very solid card. Obviously, it's a good card. Then and potentially very good in this deck. Prime Catcher. I don't know. I feel like Miraidon, just doing Miraidon stuff. Okay, there we go. We're done with Miraidon. I don't really like Miraidon. I was kind of skipping through it in case you couldn't tell. Next up, we got Ancient Box. Raging Bolt EX is very similar to Chien-Pao EX, except it has very different tools. Sandy Shocks EX accelerates to itself after you've taken or after your opponent's taken 2 prizes. In the early game, you're gonna go in with who knows what. Potentially this Koraidon, Baby Koraidon, which is a very decent single prize attacker. Um, we again seek Patrol Cap as well to stop Mill. Um, this is a really good Mill deck in the new set. Now we see, let's see, we see single prize Sandy Shocks, which is okay. I don't know. I feel like single prize attackers in this deck are just okay, because obviously single prizers give up 1 prize and you have to give up 2 prizes and then just kind of tank. You do have Ancient Boost Energy Capsule that do that to help you tank some, but that's kind of awkward. Then we see Trekking Shoes. We see the Ancient Tool Plate in this list because if you have a lot of Ancient Pokemon, if you got Raging Bolts and Sandy Shocks and like if you got 4 Ancient Pokemon, play it just to draw 4. So that's really good. Some interesting stuff going on here. In this next list, pretty similar ideas as well. We see Maximum Belt this time. I would not run Maximum Belt. I feel like you want consistency. You want something that just gets you something nice and simple. As the deck has a lot of moving pieces already, Maximum Belt is like another moving piece in the list. Isn't necessarily providing a lot of like consistency. Most of these look pretty similar. See Pokestop, see Collapse Stadium. A lot of Pokestop though, to be kind of turbo-y. Um, although you can't really attack super well turn one. Oh, you can hit 210, which isn't bad. I'm acting like you're not really doing much turn one, but you're doing stuff certainly. But potentially you're doing stuff. Next up, we even see a is that collapsed? I think that's collapsed. At first I was like that's Templacino, but no, that's Collapse Stadium. Um, Okay, and then this is, oh yeah, I was like, this is the same deck it is, yeah. Or same deck, not list. Next up, we got, oh, and is that Ting-Lu, or am I just seeing things? I don't think that's Ting-Lu. It kind of looks like Ting-Lu, though, because it kind of can hide behind certain walls. Um, this list running is the same type of idea. This one with Palkia, that's really interesting. You can accelerate much energy and play with Palkia. I think at that point, just run Chien-Pao. I mean, Chien-Pao is a really good deck. Um, So I'd run that instead of 3 different energy types when you're a very linearly attacking deck. Um, this list, oh no, that card is Sandy Shocks. Okay. Sandy Shocks can attack with as well, but it's not that good. Obviously, a lot of moving pieces, and not something I choose to do personally. I might. We'll see. I can't. I shouldn't lock that in. Next up, we got Roaring Moon Darkrai, Roaring Moon Ancient Box as well. I talked about Ancient Box previous. First of all, Darkrai. Darkrai is really good with Prime Catcher, obviously, because you can recover it. It's the best way to recover items. It's essentially the only way to recover items. Not the only way, but it's the best, in my opinion. Um, that's good. But then we see Ancient Box. This is not a Roaring Moon EX deck, but I mean it is, but it's not really. It doesn't have that same amount of turbo-y aspect. I mean, it has some, but not quite the same, in my opinion. But then also you're like single prizing. You have the Baby Roaring Moon, Baby Koraidon. Oh no, we don't see Baby Koraidon. Okay, so this is kind of a different deck. In some lists you can run Baby Koraidon, but Baby Roaring Moon is a very solid single prize attacker. For Ancient Box, but it is the Ancient Box. And then we see Mismagius. No, not Mismagius. Fluttermane, which like can be really good against Lost Zone ability locks. So they're active, but they might also run Rope, and they will run Prime Catcher. Um, we also see this list with Iron Leaves, which is kind of interesting, but I don't really know why you're running it. It's a grass attacker. That's pretty much all that matters. This is like 100% the same picture. It's like actually okay, the same picture. Okay, here we get to a very conventional ancient box. I guess we do see. Why did they split up their Fluttermanes? Anyway, we see the fighting energy with their Koraidons and the darkness energy with their roaring moons, the EXs and single prizer. Uh, what is that? Slitherwing? Something like that. The old like Mothim? No, not Mothim. The Volcarona. Um, that one is like that's what they're running that as well. It's a fighting attacker. It's fine. And we see a lot of different things. I would not run it. So this is Roaring Moon EX. This is just old Roaring Moon EX. It's not really Ancient Box. It technically is, but it's not really. I mean, it runs. What's that? Like it runs Darkrai V-Star. It runs two of the new Roaring Moon, but it runs Radiant Greninja with two waters. I think that's always bad. You're like never gonna pull it off, in my experience. Can't think of the last time because I played water or Lost Zone decks more commonly, but sometimes Roaring Moon, but mostly Lost Zone with two waters. In that, you can search out the waters in the deck, discard or the deck or discard, and you can play them obviously from your hand. You like never attack with Radiant Greninja if you only have two, so I definitely not recommend just running two. But then we see a more Roaring Moon, simple straight Roaring Moon, which looks the same as like the other lists. Sometimes running water, and that's all for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. As I said, I'll be covering the rest of the decks, some of the newer decks in tomorrow's video. But I hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider hitting that subscribe button. I think I'll be doing a top 10 ranking soon as well. But hope you enjoyed. As always, I'm excited to see you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff.